Well, here's something brilliant. They've come out with watches. I don't know how long it's been, but I don't have one. They're called smartwatches. Anyone's heard of them? Probably yes. Anyway, they have these watches. Now, not a lot of people know that eventually these watches emit radiation and are extremely bad for you, just like a cell phone. Why do you think the Asian sensation culture doesn't hold the phone to their ear when they're talking? Because they're not stupid. These cell phones emit radiation. It even tells you in the instructions or the caution manuals or whatever they're called, whatever the manual is, that if you hold it at a certain distance to your ear, like flat against it, we'll say, you'll get radiation bit by bit. It's just like the chemtrailing, bit by bit, and eventually you'll start developing, depends on who you are, but you'll start developing tumors, lumps, burns, all this kind of stuff on your wrist and inside your head. The reason cancer is on the rise is because of the technology. I'm not going to get into the chemtrailing or anything today. That is the reason why we have a rise, a massive rise in cancer recently. Like, I've just found out that, one of my kids' teachers, now one of my other kids' dads, one of my kids' friends' dad, as you guys know, my mother, I don't know what kind of cancer my one of my kids' dads, one of my kids' friends' dads have, but that's because of the technology, people. It's environmental as well, but mainly the tech, okay? This technology is meant to track you. This technology was given to you by the government, and the government got it elsewhere, as I've already explained this before. The technology is supposed to be anti-human. It's supposed to kill us slowly, while let us enjoy, the filters, and filters, they can be fine, I'll admit, but I don't use them. Because if you look at some of the filters, you can kind of see what happened in Noah's day. As stupid as that sounds, it's true. You can change yourself into a quote-unquote alien or a demon or like a pony or just a bunny, I think. Or some of them are just silly, like, I don't know, a cowboy or a Mr. Freeze. I've seen people, upload this type of stuff. But you have to take caution, because what the hell do you need a watch on your wrist for when you got a phone? I don't get it. It's not like you can, have a private conversation on your watch. I mean, I had a watch that was a cheap Chinese knockoff smartwatch. And in order to hear the person and talk to them, you had to hold a watch to your ear. So what was the point of it? I think it was just for fun. I don't use it anymore. It was only like a week. And now I'm going to show you what happens when you use these things way too much. Hold on. What's going on here? This is what happens. Because the watches run off of 4G, just like your cell phones. Eventually, the cell phones will rise to 5G. The newer generation coming out, will all be connected to 5G. It's going to be bad. Don't buy a smartwatch. Be smart about it. If you got a cell phone, you don't even use. To me, to be honest with you, I know there's Bluetooth, and I love Bluetooth. I really do. But the more and more and more I read this stuff and I look at it, the more and more and more I realize that you might be better off to just buy a excuse me, a set of headphones or a headset that is wired into the phone. That is much safer than Bluetooth. Now, I know there's tech review channels out there that review these type of things, but to me, you know, you got to be very careful. You really want to be 21, 22, 23 years old and develop cancer. You know, there's children out there that are suffering from it too. Leukemia and all kinds of stuff because of the environment. And sometimes it's the parents. The parents carry a gene. The gene gets messed around with, and you know, due to the environmental thing, or you know, it's weird to think about. It's like the Chernobyl thing. You know what I mean? These people are still popping kids out, and the kids are deformed and things like that. You guys can Google that kind of thing. But that's what radiation does. It deforms your body or it deforms your genetic pool. You see, me, I haven't had that problem with the tech because I don't really use it too often. And I don't put a laptop on my lap. I don't use my cell phone too often. Usually when I'm recording, I have it in my hand for a quick minute or so. Or I put it on a table and I record videos like I'm doing now. So guys, please be careful with the tech. The tech is not really made to, you know, keep you healthy. It's to draw you in, to have you on it all the time, and that is where the problem comes. And this is a lot of major problems with women that I've noticed, and I can confirm that from 3 different women. That they are obsessed with their phones. That they will sit there with their spouse watching, say, television, or to be at the movies or something, or to be at dinner, and the women are on their phone all the time. And it's like I said before, you want to be a social butterfly, that's great. But not while I'm sitting across from you, not while I'm sitting next to you, or not while I'm watching television. Because, you know, with TV you can sit pretty much anywhere. I'm talking like when I'm sitting with you, in other words, like the movie theater. Technology can be good, but it's also extremely disruptive. It's like, have you guys ever given games to your children, and you go to take it away, and they have a massive meltdown? Well, I call that crackhead syndrome. That's what I call it. I'm sorry for people that do the drug, but I call it crackhead syndrome because they get into it, then they experience withdrawal, and then they're up at like 2, 3, 1, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I can admit that because my other son there, he has that. It's not really a syndrome. It's just something I came up with. It's got nothing to do with anything. It's just what I've seen. So now we give it to them once a week on like a Friday for about an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then we take it away. Usually what I'll do is I'll unplug the modem, and then that'll disconnect them from the internet, and then they know. But I call it crackhead syndrome because it's what it is. All this tech is like a crackhead syndrome. Like, no one can leave their shit alone. Like, no one can just leave their devices at home and just go out for a walk. No, everybody's got to be looking at the screen. Hey guys, have you ever heard of the biblical what is it there? The phrase that Christ used, I think it was, man, I'm so bad right now, my mind is shot. I got so much going on. But he said to keep your eye in the sky, because you don't know when the Son of Man will come back. And what are we doing? The exact opposite. We're not keeping our eyes to the sky. We're keeping our eyes on the devices that are currently in our hand. Technology was made to distract us and fool us into thinking and being brainwashed. I don't watch a lot of YouTube stuff. I don't get into the drama-filled crap. I do have some fun with some, typing, but I don't like getting into it because I find that distracts you from looking up in the sky waiting for his return. Today, tomorrow, who knows when he'll return. But anyway, guys, I'll cut this short. Just a quick video. Well, not really so quick, but be careful with your technology, people. Peace.